Hi, and welcome to another episode of PC Politics, Real, Raw, Relevant. Brought to you by Spectacular Magazine. I'm your host, Phyllis Coley. Today, we are going to talk about the March for Durham. And joining me today is Daniel Thompson, who is the most worshipful Grand Master of the Prince Hall Masons of North Carolina. Grand Master Thompson, how are you today?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good, and thank you so much for taking time to talk with me. But even more so, thank you for making the effort to do this march. Now, tell me when and where is the march taking place?
It's gonna be on Saturday, October the 17th, in Durham, North Carolina, at the I don't have the flyer in front of me. I think if I remember right, it's at the Mount Vernon Baptist Church.
Mount Vernon Baptist Church on
12 noon, where Dr. Washington is the pastor of that church, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Jerome Washington.
And actually, go ahead.
Go ahead, no finish.
And actually, it's called the Stand for Durham. And stands is an acronym for support, teach, accountability, never forget, and devotion.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell me what organizations came together to do this event?
Actually, it's a coalition of three. We're looking at is the Prince Hall Masons of North Carolina in coalition with law enforcement, and the clergy of Durham. Law enforcement, as you know, we have Chief Davis in Durham, we have Sheriff Burkhead in Durham, and in the clergy, we have Dr. Washington at Mount Vernon Baptist Church, Dr. J. Augustine at St. Joseph AME, and Bishop Godby, who's at the River Church. We're also trying to get Dr. Cheryl Moore, hasn't confirmed yet, who's at Zion Temple AME Zion, and we have Dr. Angelo Birch, who's at the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance. So those are the organizations that we have combined in this joint venture right now.
Why did you decide to do this?
Well, man, we actually had a meeting. The first meeting was a meeting with clergy, meeting with Chief Davis, laying out the issues going on in Durham. Then the second meeting was a meeting with myself, Sheriff Burkhead, his deputy, Chief Woodard, and Bishop Birch, laying out the issues in Durham. And at the end of the meeting, we just something had to be done on two folds. One, to exercise our right to vote, and two, we decided something has to be done about one, the crime that's going on in Durham, and two, that our youth need mentors. I mean, our youth are our future, and our young boys and our young girls need mentors. And who better to be the mentors than the leaders in the community? Also, what we wanted to do is to show the unity between the law enforcement in the community and our clergy. Because when you look back at the African American community, the church and the clergy was our foundation. That's where the Black family found their foundation. So by going back to our roots, reaching back to our roots, which is our religion, then reaching out, supporting our law enforcement, and then using Prince Hall Masons and our sister organization Eastern Stars, and reaching out and showing that there is a unity between all of us. We just came up with the idea, stand for Durham, and just let our voices be heard.
What will take place at this event?
Basically, the event, mainly the idea of the event is just for us to come together, let our youth see males in a positive format. It's not to come out, of course, to encourage people to go exercise their right to vote, because people have marched for that right, people have went to jail for that right, people have died for that right. So encourage them to exercise for their right to vote. Then just encourage them to do positive things. When you talk to Chief Davis, when you talk to Sheriff Burkhead, we we know people have challenges in life. People make mistakes, but just because you made a mistake and go to jail when you come out, we need to fight recidivism. People need programs so that when they come out, they can go get a skill set. So when they come out, they have a skill set so they can learn a trade and go and get a job versus go back to that same negative behavior and back up where they went back to. So we just want to just encourage them to do things of a positive nature versus a negative nature.
Well, so will this be like an expo kind of thing where you'll have tables set up and different organizations will have tables and voter registration people will be out there? Or will this be will be speakers or a combination of?
Right now, it'll be a combination of those who probably need to register to vote. There will be tables like this you can register to vote, but each speaker has 3 minutes to motivate those who attend.
Okay, okay. Do you need to RSVP? Do people need to?
No, just all we have to just bring yourself with an open mind and an open heart,
Is this?
and bring your mask socially distanced. We
Thank
do
you.
realize
Thank you.
we do realize that there's a pandemic, so social distancing is mandatory. Masks are mandatory. If you don't have it, we'll have it for you. But even
Oh,
though there is
good.
a pandemic going on,
Mhm.
losing Black lives matters also. So we still want to stand up and make our voices heard.
Definitely so. Where can people find more information about this march?
Right now, we have a flyer that's coming out today. It'll come out by this afternoon. But also, the Grand Lodge has a Facebook page. Most MWPHGLNC, Most Worshipful Grand Lodge, North Carolina, has a Facebook page, a Twitter page. So the flyer will be on that page this afternoon.
And let me just say that it will also, once they provide it to us, it will be available on Spectacular Magazine. That's
We thank you.
spectacularmag.com. It will be available there, and you can see all the information. So again, let's rehash this. So this is STAND for Durham.
Stanford, yes,
Tell
ma'am.
us again what STAND is the acronym for.
It stands for support, teach, accountability, never forget, and devotion.
And you're going to do all of those things and try
Yes,
and go down that road on October 17th.
yes, ma'am. We have to support each other. We have to support each other because we are one. We have to teach each other. Remember our values as they go. We have to hold each other accountable. Never forget where we come from. Remember our devotion. We all children of God.
Yes, we are. So this is October 17th at Mount Vernon Baptist Church in Durham. The address is on your screen. And again, you can find that information on our website, spectacularmag.com, or the Grand Lodge's website, and that information is on your screen as well. Grand Master Thompson, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today.
Thank you for having me.
I thank you, and I thank you so much for what we're doing, because crime is really getting out of hand. And I mean, it's really getting bad, and things are so bad for our young people. You know what? And it's not even just the young people anymore. It is just bad across the board. And we really would we want to see changes. We have to see changes, don't we?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, we have to sit. Our youth need role models. And if we don't do it, who's going to do it? So we need to just stand. We need to take a stand. So we're going to stand and provide them the positive role models that we are.
Did you mention are the members of the Divine Nine involved with this as well?
But actually, as you look at some of these members who are going to be there, most of us are part of the Divine Nine also. Because I'm also a life member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated also.
Wonderful.
And
wonderful.
Dr. Augustine is actually the national chaplain for Alpha Phi Alpha. So we all hold different memberships in different organizations also.
It should be a wonderful turnout. October 17th, 12 noon, Mount Vernon Baptist Church in Durham. I have been visiting. My guest today is Daniel Thompson, who is the most worshipful Grand Master of the Prince Hall Masons in North Carolina. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. I'm Phyllis Coley, and until next time, see ya.
Thank you.
Spectacular Magazine. We on the scene.